What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to this show. My name is JChains. It is Tuesday, May 6th. May the 6th be with you. May the 6th be with you? I don't know, something like that. Maybe I missed that. That was the other day, the Star Wars or Star Trek day, whatever it is. Live long and prosper, as they say. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Shout out to the crew. Hope you guys are doing well and having a great day. Cruising on through. It's 1:30 in the afternoon here. So that means, maybe you're just getting done with lunch if you're here on the East Coast. Maybe it's still morning time, technically, if you're on the West Coast. So technically, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Appreciate you being here. Make sure that Now, y'all could do anything. You could smash anything. You could smash anywhere. But I would just kindly request that you smash the like button. Ooh, that was a weird noise. Oh, there we go. All right, they're starting to roll in. So as you guys know, it is official. I will be going to Toronto next week for Blockchain Week up there in Canada, Canada's Blockchain Week. So we'll be doing Toronto at the Futurist Conference, and they're going to be doing another one down in Miami later this year, I think in November. But so we're doing the Futurist Conference. I'm actually emceeing that on one of their stages. They got 3 floors, multiple stages, a lot of cool stuff going on there. So I'm super excited to get back to that group and that crew. I got a lot of my people, the Web3 breakfast community coming out. Let's go. So we're going to have a good time there. And that is at the Futurist Conference next Tuesday. So I'm emceeing that. That's a done deal. Lock that in. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is Consensus. And the emails have been rolling in because I got media there about locking up some interviews. So hopefully we will get the schedule completely packed with interviews during Consensus. So boom. All right, there we go. Let's make that happen. So if you guys are going to be there, and I'm, obviously I got the crew that my people and all that stuff, but like say that you're, a project leader, a founder, CTO, whatever it is, let's chat. Let's have a moment. Let's have a couple moments. Let's, sit down at whether it's at the conference, at a hotel, or maybe at one of the parties, and capture some content. I think that's one of the joys of going to these events is I'm gonna be burning the candle at both ends, making sure that I capture as much as I can. I was actually thinking about I probably got to go through my phone because I'll bring enough memory cards for the cameras, but I gotta clear enough memory on my phone to be able to use that sucker. So. All right, what do we got here? How are we doing? 80s. Oh, man, are we in the 80,000s? I didn't think so. 94.7. So we're up, a skosh today, 0.33% for Bitcoin. So we'll get to some of that market stuff here in a second. Let's see. So we talked about getting ready to do, making sure we lock in all the interviews and then all the parties. I will have the party list hopefully at some point today. I reached out in the group where it should be. And let's see, is there anything there? Not yet. But so if you want to take part in any of the activities that we're going to be doing as a group, there's going to be a whole crew of us. Make sure you tap in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a great time up there. Going to be working my ass off to do a lot of connections. It's one of those things a couple years ago. I made the decision that when you go to these conferences, in your mind, you say, all right, before you go, before I leave Toronto, I want to have made X amount of, whether it's partnerships or deals or relationships, whatever it is. Like you go there with a plan, you strategize, and what we say about it all this time, right? It's about being 1% better. But if you want to meet your goals, you got to put a system in place to meet your goals, right? And so that's what I'm doing this week is strategizing, what kind of connections do I want to make? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? And then how am I going to accomplish it? So that's what I got going on this week. So that's your lesson in 1% better this afternoon. Let's go. All right, nothing yet on the party list. If you guys are waiting, if you're waiting for me to get you that party list for Consensus and Futurist during the Canadian Blockchain Week, I will get it to you. Just chill, just hold up, homie. Just hold up. All right, so we're going to go through the market here in just a second. Then we got a couple headlines, as you guys know. Got a fun little video for us to go through again today. This time in Samara Cohen. She's with BlackRock. And remember, I saw her speak at the ONDO Summit in New York City. And so, she was the one, and I've used her kind of as the whole thing where she was the one who said, several years ago, it took her X amount, I think 2.5 minutes at that point to create a Bitcoin transaction. Right? That was her thing. And now she's much faster at it. And so, this is the type of level. And I think she's like VP of ETFs at BlackRock. So, I mean, pretty high up there. And she plays crypto. And it makes a whole lot of sense. And so we're going to watch and we'll react to a video about tokenization. And then we'll get into some charts. So I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for being here. Make sure you, again, mash that like button. Mash it. I'm going to switch over to that today. We got the Femex thing. A few more house cleaning items. I'm going to switch it off the Femex thing, but that reminds me that tomorrow is May 7th. That means the Femex trade competition begins, and you gotta be on the team. Come on now. Let's go. Sign up. Start an account there. Start trading. You can have other accounts. You can have other trading accounts. Put a couple bucks in there and do some trading. We're going to do a lot of things together as a team. That's the whole point of being a team, guys. So if you want to do that, go to the description, go to my bio, wherever you can find it, and click on the Femex link. Join the squad. There's no KYC, no VPN needed, none of that shit. So you just get in there, load it up, and get some trading going on. As far as the pizza competition goes, this starts the 7th, ends the 21st. You got a couple weeks. There are different thresholds, a lot of prizes. I told you guys last time I won on both of my accounts that I was trading. One I barely even traded on, and one I traded most of the stuff on, but I still won a little bit of cheese here and there. So I would suggest that, like, hey, let's have some fun and let's do this as a team. Like, you're not out there to, like, I mean, put $100 in your account and let's do some trades together. Like, you're not trying to turn that into $1 million so you don't have to put it at the 50x. Like, that's not what we do. We're being responsible traders. So get in there. All right. That's it. There's that. Oh, my guy Chris is in the chat. Let's go. Gonna see you next week in Toronto, sir. Finally, after all these years. That's what I love about going to the live events, guys, is that, if you're in this space, if you make friends in this space, if you work in this space, whatever it is, people, and you finally, after, in some cases it's several years, sometimes it's not as long, but several years where you've got someone that you've communicated with, sometimes on a daily basis. We're in the same DM chat groups, obviously in the community, all that stuff. So it's like, finally, after all these fucking years, we get a chance to meet. Let's go. Look, Chris, I'm looking forward to meeting you, brother. Mel, I'm looking forward to meeting you too. Dougie Doug, my guy, 6 a.m. Doug, let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Let's see here. Well, we didn't go through medal counts today. Mike Vollmer, Mike V picking up the gold medal. Let's go. Doug picking up silver. Who's got the, well, technically, DJ and Brian gets it because he's the third on YouTube. However, Chris over on X is taking us. So I'm gonna moving forward. This is multi platform. I was gonna say multi-platinum, but that was not the right word. We ain't multi-platinum yet, but multi-platform. We got to allow. So Chris gets the bronze today. Congratulations, Chris. Sorry, DHM Brian, it shows up at the same time, 136, but it's the way the old cookie crumbles. But remember, all you got to do is just slide in another medal and it counts. Remember, at some point, it's all going to make sense, and it's going to be worth something. It's going to be for something. So don't you worry, guys. Keep it up. Who else we got in the chat today? Crypto Fight Club. Let's go. Yeah, one of these days, man, we'll get together and we'll kick it. Facts. Let's see. Chris, what is up? All right. There it is. Brian's got to go back to bed. Well, good night, sir. Get your nap in. But remember, bull runs happening sometime soon. Not yet. Golly, not yet. I'm waiting for this thing to rip. Okay, let's get into the market. Let me bring this on up there. There you go. Refresh, that's always what we want to be doing. Right now, the market is currently sitting at a $2.94 trillion market cap, so we're down 0.25% today. Not a whole lot, nothing to write home about, at least. We have got the altcoin index is sitting at 23, and the fear and greed index sitting at 50. So I believe it was 22 yesterday on the altcoin index, so really not a huge change. And then 49 on fear and greed, so we've gone up one. So nothing crazy. Let's check our shrimps, see if there's any shrimps down at the bottom that we might like. It's a good time to check our shrimp portfolio. I was cleaning, like every now and then you got to clean the schmutz out of your, the bottom part of your phone. So I'd taken the case off, cleaned the whole thing because it just gets caked with schmutz. And I was smashing an alcohol wipe into there to like clean it all out and get the gunk. But now when I plug it in, it tells me, oh, dry now. It was telling me that there was liquid in there and that it couldn't charge and to unplug it immediately. So it had been saying that for a little bit, but now we're back in business. All right. Love that. Yo, Mr. Mayo, what's up, G? Hope you're doing well, sir. Okay, back to our shrimp in here. Let's go. Let's pull up our shrimps. All right, shrimps.
All right, shrimping, let's go to the boats. Who wants to go shrimping in the boats? We going shrimping.
All right, Pi, no. Lido, no. Radium, no. Jupe, no. Enon, no. Theta, no. Uni, no. XCN, no. OP, no. Trump. Man, I tell you what, if I had $400,000, I probably would, because then I would go to that dinner. But nah, I'll probably take a pass on that. How is the Trump coin doing? All-time high. Okay. No, thank you, sir. So no Trump. Jito, XTZ, ENS Mint, Ave, Ondo. I mean, like in these high 36, 35, 34%. I mean, even ETH. You know, these are the kind of shrimping moves that you're going to have to deal with sometimes, where it's not, you know, the 65, 72% shit where we got ours shrimping at. That reminds me, I got to get this thing open. Let's see where we are at here. Our shrimping, man, we were at 710 yesterday, 694 today. So we are down another $20 almost. Render, Fetch is still pulling the lion's share. JASMY still doing all right, still up 50%. Fetch is up 68%. JASMY up 54% from when we got this, right? And then you got Render is up 43%, and then the graph and the pith still doing their thing. 17% up on the graph and 11% up on the pith. So at some point, I thought we were thinking about cutting those two last week, and I think that's the move. We're gonna get rid of those two this week and grab something different. And I probably will consolidate it into, at this moment, looking here, I mean, nothing at the moment. At least as far as the ones that are in the 40s, 50s, or even the 60s. Like I don't want any Pi, I don't want any Lido, I don't want any Radium or Jupe. Nah. So we'll hold it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Love Ondo, but afraid it's due for a large pullback before the next leg. I mean, that's what people are saying, but man, we already had a big pullback. Like we've been going down since December, like not like, you know, slowly. You know, it was 215 a couple months ago. You know, now it's May, so it was 5 months ago, but still, you guys get the point. Like, it's just been down. Why are we due for another leg down? And I get it. I understand. The whole point is to shake people out. The whole point is to get rid of investor confidence. Like that's really the whole point. I tweeted today, and kind of the whole theme of the show today is watch the whales, right? You got to watch what they do, not what they say. Okay. There's, one of the headlines that we're going to talk, one of the news stories that we're going to talk about today is that like the Democrats got up and walked out of the thing saying Trump's corrupt, and so like they're going to make and yeah, I get that maybe they're not happy that, he got rich and they didn't, but even though they're all getting rich and we're not, it makes sense. But, the whole idea of we got to be watching what's happening. Watch what's happening. And the other headlines that we got, they're like amazing things, right? Amazing. The price may be going down, but the news is like really, really good. You got New Hampshire becoming the first U.S. state officially holding a Bitcoin in state reserves, right? You got I told you about the House Democrats. There's a leak reveals Wall Street is quietly gearing up for a huge Bitcoin and crypto price boom. I feel like that is probably an SEO booster. Like they're just looking for some reads, some eyeballs. But Billy Bambro, he's really good at dropping that SEO on his headlines. And then the last one that we'll look at, Swee's leg up over Cardano, what investor psychology is telling us. And so like you gotta understand that like the news itself is all super bullish. It's all pretty good. And you hear like a few stories that might take over. Like if you type crypto for news, you're going to see the thing about the Democrats causing a scene. You're not going to see any of the other positive stuff. But when you know how to search for crypto news, because I do this every day, like that's where you find the good stories. But if you're just a regular Joe Schmo trying to find crypto news, you're going to find nothing but dog shit articles. And that's done by design to make you think that crypto's dog shit so you don't buy it right now because they want it to get it cheaper. And then exit liquidity. Everybody's going to be, all the retails that comes in is going to be exit liquidity at some point when the FOMO triggers, and that's unfortunately going to have to be like after we get over, the all-time high and have to create a new all-time high where, a lot of us that are in this space have been screaming from the mountaintops for years, like, listen, get in now. I remember going to Christmas this last year, saying to my family from the previous Christmas, right? So we went 2024, 2023. So we're talking about 2023 when I was just like, hey, remember when we talked about getting that Bitcoin because it's supposed to be a good year? Did you guys do it? No, nope. But, you know, it went from like 40 to 108. Like, no big deal. You could have just dubbed up. No big deal. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So, all right. Well, that is where we're at on a little bit of psychology, if you will. Back to the markets is probably where we need to go here. And let's see, we did our shrimping, fear and greed at 50. Let's look at some top 10 pricing, see what's going on. Again, general sentiment is like things are pretty chill, things are pretty mellow, not really shaking it up a whole lot. You know, if we look at the last 7 days, it's, you know, pretty much we're at where we started, you know, 7 days ago. For the most part, some things are up, some things are down, but very minimal. You got Bitcoin at 94.5. Like to see that hold tight, man. Would like to actually see pushback up over 95, maybe 96. I know some people are calling for some lower levels, maybe to clear that gap. But we also have a gap to the upside. We'll talk about that a little later. You got Ethereum at 1766. That's down 2.64% on the day, though. Not really anything else in the top 10 is down that much. So ETH getting a little bit more of a beating than everything else. XRP 212. It is down only 1%. BNB 599. Ooh, almost at 600 again. I bet it got back up there, but it is sitting down there right now. Solana 143. Man, come on, get back up. Get back to 250, and then 300, and then 500, and then 800, then 1,000. What do you think? You think Solana can hit $1,000? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what you guys think about that. Also, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Do the things. Do the things. I don't want to have to ask you. Just do the things. But I will have to ask you because that's what you got to do. All right. And then Doji is in at number 8. Tron number 9. And then Cardano number 10 at 65 cents. It is down 7%. Almost 8% on the week, though, or Cardano. There was something I had seen on an article, if I'm not mistaken, that Charles is going to turn Cardano into an AI blockchain. We'll have to take a look for that headline. Is that for real? Charles Hoskinson plans to make ADA an AI crypto. Is Cardano price set up to moonshoot? I'm going to add that into the stories for when we get into, that'll be our last fun story that we talk about. So $1,000 pro Solana is programmed. Yeah, my fam, Crypto Fight Club. Let's go. Did you guys see my video this morning? Come on, somebody had mentioned to me that I need to be doing something like an activity challenge every day, short video, challenge the community. Let's get back to being active. We don't, not with the morning show not going on right now. And previously we were doing the workouts mid-show. And so it's kind of taking that idea is every day I'm going to do something active. I'm going to call people out. So yesterday I called out my guy 6 a.m. Doug. I don't know if he saw it because I didn't see the video, but the whole idea is that he's got to do a plank, and he's got to do a plank for 30 seconds to 60 seconds because I called him out. Shoot a video, tag W3BC Media. Today, I hit the bag for 2 minutes straight. And I'll tell you what, man, I was pretty tired after that, but I called out the entire karate combat community. So if you love karate combat, if you watch karate combat, if you have karate combat token, if you like H-bar, if you like crypto, if you're alive, if you can swing your arms, if you have access to a punching bag, or if you don't have access to a punching bag, watch that video, shoot a clip of you. And if you just want to do it for 30 seconds, I don't give a shit. Just do something and then just participate. And that's the whole thing. It's a community challenge. So I just want to see some activity on that. It's something I'm going to do every day because I'm doing activities every day. I'm trying to make myself 1% better. And if it's just a little push, and if one person catches on, I had someone say, man, you are really motivating me. If that happens and I get one person every single day that catches a little motivation or catches a little fire under their ass for it, then golly, man, I've done my damn job. Let's go. Okay. Oh, my bad. You didn't see that. Of course, Doug. Of course. I love you guys. All right. Let's see. Was there any, let's look at our gainers and losers for the day. See if there's anything. We got to take any profits and put them into anything. Nope. No, it's Pengu's up 2%. And it's just so happens I had gotten this sticker when we went to the Atlanta Blockchain Center a few weeks ago. And Whitney walked into my office earlier today saying, "Did you want this?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely. I got to either throw it on my Yeti cooler or something." But yep, got my Pengu sticker right there. All right. Nothing to write home about on the gainers, guys. Just a few percents now. Oh, man. Virtual's down 12%. Why? I wonder what's going on. Radium down 12%. Walrus. Okay. I mean, we could add to the virtuals bag if that's what we want to do. That's what I would do. SWE down 6%, 321. Tell you what, should have gotten that shipment when it was back in the $2 ranges, but you missed it. Oh, that's right. You were at a festival. That's right. That is right. All right. That is the losers on the day. What about losers on the week? Anything? Optimism down 22%. Radium down 22%. Official Trump down 20%. Athena down 20%. Bonk down 20%. Man, oh man. WorldCoin Celestia. Algo. Algo down to 19 cents, down 16.47% on the week. Heard Phantom might launch a token. Oof. All right. I bet there's... I wonder if it's going to be like an airdropped one based on your activity. Hopefully, maybe not. I don't know. All right. Well, we got some double-digit losers on the week, guys. You still have an opportunity, and that's, it goes right along with our shrimping strategy. So if you've got some dry powder and you want to deploy of it, this is... we may see it go down a little bit more, but really, like, what's the upside? How much could it actually go down? We're not going to zero, and maybe you see a little bit of a drawdown, another 10% or whatever, but we really can't go down too much more. And Max Payne, I understand, but we've already had a few opportunities of Max Payne that, did some pretty big leverage flushes. And so, we'll see where it all gets to. Algo is taking a kicking. Absolutely. All right. Well, I believe that is going to do it for the market talk here in the beginning. So let's get into some headlines. Let's talk about some news. We got a couple things, like I said, a couple quick little articles for us to get through. And then we're going to do another reaction video. We're going to watch a video of Samara Cohen from BlackRock, talk about tokenization. So, boom, here we go. Breaking news. New Hampshire becomes the first U.S. state to officially hold Bitcoin in their state reserves. HB 302 passed May 6, 2025. Historic date by the state's governor. This makes New Hampshire the first state in the nation to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve fund. Love to hear that. So remember, watch what they're doing, not what they're saying, okay? Like, this is the shit that they're doing, okay? The law gives the state's treasurer the power to buy Bitcoin and other major digital assets directly through a regulated investment product like an ETP. Remember, ETPs, products, not funds yet. However, there's a limit. The state can only hold up to 5% of its total funds in Bitcoin to balance risk. There is the tweet brought by this is our news connection to crypto. Good old Ellie Tourette. New Hampshire becomes the first U.S. state to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve into law, authorizing the treasurer to purchase these digital assets directly through an ETP. There you go. The Satoshi Action Fund. All right. To ensure safety, the law requires digital assets to be stored under strict U.S. regulated custody, either in state-controlled wallets or with approved custodians. The new policy will officially take effect 60 days after its signing. Love to see that. There we go. Dennis Porter, the group's CEO, said this is more than just a bill. It's the start of a movement. New Hampshire didn't just pass a bill. It sparked a movement. Crypto, Bitcoin, back to its movement roots. Full circle moment. Congratulations to anybody that worked on that to get that through. I know that there's been some states fighting it. There's a lot of opposition, the political opposition to crypto and Bitcoin. I thought we got through that. That was kind of the whole idea of, where we were going this year and how we were going to, really change the idea of, how we present the industry here in the United States. And, it's just, you think about the whole Trump thing, right? We talked about Trump launching Trump coin, fine, right? And I think, the Melania coin thing is what really tarnished the whole thing. And that really turned a lot of people really in thinking negatively about this. And so, man, I tell you what, there are a lot of good things that you can say about what he's done for at least bringing crypto to the forefront, to the mainstream a lot faster than probably a lot of us thought that it was going to anyway. But some damage has been done. And again, when you talk about the political opposition, at some point that all goes away. But hopefully, that you see more states like New Hampshire that want to push the envelope forward and integrate into this new technology, into this new financial ecosystem. So if you're from New Hampshire, good luck. Hopefully this thing is like what changes the domino effect, if you will, here in the US, and you start to see a lot more states individually start to do that. All right, here. This is the FUD article. Time for a little FUD news. House Democrats walk out of crypto hearing, citing Trump's crypto corruption. That's a good picture too. I love the synth wavy vibe, the pinks and the cyans, the bulls versus the bears. Man, I'll tell you what, being able to generate images with AI is such a game changer for someone who is not a graphic designer, but needs things like, or would need someone like a graphic designer to help like with thumbnails and, other images for social media, stuff like that. Like, I'll tell you what, man, whoo. It's not AI though, right? It's just advanced computing right now. At some point, probably in the very near future, maybe closer than I think or we think, we'll actually see some true AI. But I really just feel like this is advanced computing is all we got right now. All right, a high-profile House hearing on crypto regulation. Well, let's. So we're talking about the House Democrats walking out of the crypto hearing, citing Trump's crypto corruption. A high-profile House hearing on crypto regulation got testy Tuesday after House Democrats led by good old Maxine Waters. My gosh, is she like ready to retire yet? Walked out in protest over President Donald Trump's involvement in crypto. The joint hearing, organized by the House Financial Services and Agricultural Committees, was meant to discuss a new draft of market structure legislation that would divide oversight of digital assets between the SEC and the CFTC. But for a moment, the debate on regulatory frameworks was interrupted and marked by political tension. See, it's bullshit. What did she say? What did old crazy Maxine Waters say? I object to this joint hearing because of the corruption of the President of the United States and his ownership of crypto and his oversight of all the agencies, she said during the session before exiting with other Democratic members. See you later. They should just all be fucking fired. Like, Maxine Waters represents no one. Yeah, seriously, Doug, give her a pacifier. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. All right, let's see. Those ties have come under increased scrutiny. Trump also held a crypto fundraising dinner Monday night with prices reporting reaching $1.5 million per plate. Hey, that's a deal. The 1.5 milli is a deal compared to the 400K that you need to get to the Trump coin dinner. Let's see. What else? Democrats against genius. I mean, fuck the Democrats at this point. Like you just want to go back to the Stone Ages? Like learn something new. If like you're like, who cares if like you're the one, whatever. Anyway. Yo, what's up, funny man? Let's go. 477 on X. What does that mean, DJ Brian? 477. Let's go. Coinschig in the house. Hey, CC. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in and hanging out with us. Appreciate. All right. Here we go. We're moving on here. This leak revealed Wall Street is quietly gearing up for a huge Bitcoin and crypto price boom. This, as you can see, is 2 out of my 4 free articles. Bitcoin and crypto prices have been thrust into the spotlight by U.S. President Donald Trump this year. The Bitcoin price has rebounded, as we know. 95. We were at 94 earlier. We'll check out the charts a little bit later. Now, as Bitcoin hurdles towards what Bitcoin exchange traded funds or giant BlackRock has called a geopolitical fragmentation megaforce shock. A leak has revealed Wall Street companies are quietly betting on Trump-fueled Bitcoin price rally. I mean, okay. This is a fragmented article. A lot of ads in here. Wall Street quietly ramping up its support for Bitcoin and crypto as the Trump administration. We know institutions are doing that. Come on, like we know this. Again, you gotta look at these articles and understand this has already happened. So when you see price go down, when you see the Democrats throwing a little hissy fit, all of it is just political theater, man. All of these idiots are just here for political theater. So I don't know. Oh, yeah. If you guys are gonna, oh, okay, hell yeah. Now, if you guys are going to be coming to be futurists, make sure you tap in. We got a chat group actually. So if there's anybody else that is watching right now and you are gonna be in Toronto for either futurist or consensus, tap in, let me know. You can either put it in the chat, we'll get you in the group, or tag me on X. Let me know. You can send me a DM or just put a post, a comment in one of my posts or whatever, and we'll get you in the Canada group because we'll be out there next week, man. Living it up in Toronto. Hey, ho. All right. I got really excited about saying Toronto like that. The flows are back in a big way. BlackRock's head of digital assets, Robert Mitchnick, said in a recent Bitcoin and crypto conference panel discussion. Let's see. The market momentum seems to have fallen away over the last week or manipulated. A potential consolidation is forming near the $95,000 level as traders await new catalysts. This is not a time for blind risk taking, but tactical positioning with well-defined exposure. There it is. Man, you just know that we're on that borrowed time to where we need to start going back up. And, you think psychologically about, these times in the markets where this is the clear shakeout, right? Where it just continues to go down. There's no relief. Anytime it does go up within the next hour or the next candle, it's completely erased and then some. So, the time for us to really make that swing and move the pendulum and start moving back up in the right direction is coming. I feel like we're on borrowed time. A lot of people are calling for it to go lower, and I love when everybody starts to call for it to go lower because guess what? Bitcoin and crypto is going to be like, fuck you, and go up instead. It always does the opposite of what the group herd think is. And so the more people that you get to say we're going lower, hell, send it down, man. Send it to another dip. I get it. Markets are good for that. It's a great time to acquire some more. It's a great time to stack DCA, do all that stuff. But at some point, the people that are hoping for that next dip are not going to get it because it's going to go the opposite way because that's where we are. We are moving towards that part of the cycle. And we'll look at a few charts and we'll look at, momentum is swinging forward. Now, could we have a leverage flush that does all of this? Absolutely. When was the last time that we had a true leverage flush, like a $10,000, $15,000 day? Probably going to happen soon. This is like a good week to do it because of like the Fed. Maybe they're, a lot of people saying like, they're not going to cut the Fed this month. Maybe they'll do it in June, but not this month. It's staying. Well, I believe, isn't the Bank of England or whatever, didn't they cut rates today? Let's look at that. Bank of England expected to cut rates as U.S. trade war hits growth. That was from 14 hours ago. So the Bank of England expected to cut rates. Interesting. But from what everybody says here is that it ain't happening. And if we go to the fedwatch.now, we go to the cmegroup.com, FedWatch. So we're at a 96.9% chance of not changing, a 3% chance of changing. Now, I tell you what, man, them underdogs, them 3% underdogs have come before. They have come from under and taken the win. You never know. We'll find out tomorrow. 2 p.m., I believe, is the conference. FOMC conference. Meeting calendars and information. So tomorrow is May 7th. May 7th. Yeah, May 7th. All right. Well, we'll have to figure out. I believe it's at Cowen says going down. Send it. Or unless the price is going down. If that's what you mean. Do you mean price, funny? Brian, do you mean price or the interest rate? Let me know. U.S. trueflation is 1.4%. Interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, expect a little rock and roll this week. So, we'll see what happens here. All right. We have got 2 more articles to get through. Here you go. SWI's leg up over Cardano. What investor psychology is telling us. Let's go through this one. SWI's stablecoin supply is closing in on the $1 billion milestone, and its monthly growth has outpaced Cardano. Is leaderboard leap imminent? SWI rapidly catching the eye of market speculators who now significantly undervalued when stacked up against legacy players like Cardano. Okay. Sell the news setup. Over the last 12 months, SWI has absolutely exploded in terms of user engagement, with daily active addresses skyrocketing 1,700% to 1.4 million, where Cardano's activity has shriveled down to 26% to a modest 23.5K. Interesting. The Cardano, man, it's the Cardano community is the problem. The Ada gang is not the problem. It's the Cardano community is the problem. And I can tell you that unequivocally because I know. And I know people that are Ada gang, and they're great. And I know people that are Cardano community that are great, but I'm going to tell you, Ada gang is just, there's something special about it. It's way cooler. Could have been, Anyway. I do like Cardano. I do, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with Charles. He'll be in Toronto next week, as far as with Consensus and all that. So check that out. And I believe actually even at Futurist, if I'm not mistaken, he's gonna be there. 99.95% positive. Ada gang, awesome Cardano community. Watch their why. The Cardano community, when they stay in the hotel, they love sitting in that chair in the corner. According to Becker. Okay, that makes sense. The ROI on SWI speaks for itself. Beyond the numbers, price action is making its own statement. Both SWI and Cardano have faced the brunt market FUD, but it's the bounce back that investors are eyeing. The bounce back is the most important thing. And I feel like the bounce back on SWI is going to be a lot better than the bounce back on Cardano. Because look, it's already bounced back up 51%. That's more than a double yo money moment in the last 30 days, they say. Meanwhile, Cardano, a modest 5% gain, doesn't quite have the same spark. Now, if you are in the stock market, 5%, you are swoohoo in 30 days, 5%. But in crypto, no thank you. It is just not a mover. Sure, ADA still holds 116% gain from its election day lows. Meanwhile, SWI has retraced over 40% from its high. But here's the thing. SWI's latest rally has dragged it back to mid-February levels, whereas Cardano hasn't even retested the psychological $1 mark. This is where investor psychology comes to play. Momentum chasers and fundamentals-driven traders are both leaning towards SWI thanks to its structural growth and price resilience. So, while the battle for L1 dominance is far from over, the message is clear. SWI, though it's young, is actively gunning for Cardano's legacy, and it's not just wishful thinking anymore. I agree with that. That's a very well little written article there by Rakita Gupta. Nice job, Rakita. SWI had some news. Let's check and see SWI news. SWI Game Society announces Adidas partnership. Okay. I mean, we know that there's been some other Adidas partnerships in the history of crypto and Web3 that, whatever, but it's good to see more things come into fruition and all this stuff. I mean, this is where it's going. Society. Society is probably, it's a play. I don't know how you pronounce it with the X and the O. A pop shooter with role-play gaming progression powered by SWI is set to team up with German sportswear giant Adidas. Society announced on May 6th that its partnership with Adidas will introduce exclusive alts by Adidas content on the gaming platform. Let's see. The SWI-powered society is backed by prominent investors, including Hash, Spartan, and Crafton. They plan to leverage the partnership to enhance digital identity and gameplay interactions across their ecosystem. Alts by Adidas is an avatar-focused NFT collection that features 20,066 unique digital avatars the company released in March of 2023. The company has had notable crypto-related partnerships, including with Steppen. Explicit details on how this collaboration will be recognized remain under wraps, but Society's revolutionary XCS system is poised to play a key role. Society and Adidas have a mutual focus on digital identity and creativity at the intersection of on-chain gaming and immersive, playable worlds. worlds, the video game company noted. There you go. Oh, we got another quote. And this is from Team Swee. It said, Web3 gaming isn't coming, it's here, and it's dripping in culture, identity, and on-chain permanence. Damn, that don't get you excited for Web3 gaming. I don't know what does. I will tell you, let's do a little bit more house cleaning, guys. Make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure also you're subscribed. But talking about Swee here, so May 22nd, it's going to be coming up soon. It's the Bitcoin Pizza Day, Pizza DAO party. It's going to be global, all over the world. But I'm going to be hosting with the ABC, the Atlanta Blockchain Center here. We've got an amazing group of people. And one of the people in that community is a SWE rep, and she's the SWE ambassador. Not a rep, she's a SWE ambassador for kind of the Atlanta area, and she's amazing. And I am going to ask and see if we can get at least like one of the SWE Play ones for Atlanta. That would be amazing, or at least at one of the other events, because we're going to start doing a lot more activations. As you guys know, in June, when the UFC comes here to Atlanta on behalf of VeChain and like that group, I will be, bringing the group of 15 people to the fights, and so that'll be a good time. So hopefully we'll get a chance to test one of those Sweet Play ones before anybody else does. But that's neither here nor there. Time will tell on that, and that's just rumorville for now. All right. I believe that is it for the SWE article. Last one we got here today is the one that you guys brought up to me. No, Brian. Nope. Her name is Tia. She's amazing. All right. This is what we want. Cardano price picks up steam as AI upgrade sparks investor optimism. Cardano has regained momentum after a brief lull. The network creator, Charles Hoskinson, recently unveiled a major upgrade that's caught the attention of traders and analysts alike. This new update includes a test version of Leos protocol, a key part of Cardano's 2025 roadmap. It's going to be using, artificial intelligence. Thousands of autonomous agents will simulate real-world trading and interactions to stress test the system. There you go. And it's the aim is to dramatically improve transaction speeds and scalability. Okay. If the Leos protocol delivers as promised, analysts suggest Cardano could double in size over time. Faster transactions. It's going to make it more competitive in areas like DeFi and gaming, while the AI integration reflects a broader trend across industries aiming to automate and optimize digital processes. So Cardano going AI. Interesting. Very interesting. Do we got any? Nope. No quotes from Chuck himself. No quotes from the old Chaz man. So, Tia Carrera. Tia Carrera was the chick in Wayne's World, right? If I'm not mistaken. Let's look that up. Yes. She was definitely in Wayne's World. Tia Carrera. There she is. What happened to Tia Carrera? Now 53, Carrera is about to perform a series of live shows with her new Sarah McLachlan-esque songs. She's also on Cameo. If you need a short out, she currently stars on Netflix AJ and the Queen as eye patch wearing Lady Danger. Where can we get her music? How do we get her music? Songs. Ballroom Blitz, we know that. What's new? Anything new? I'm still here.
My leather workshop is closing.
My leather workshop is closing. This is something you might not be able to understand.
Out a relationship or a person per se.
All right, here she is with Adam
of a
Carolla.
societal thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are references to individual, to a man, but it's more just.
We gotta wait till they bring up
being
the
there. But did you have no say to suddenly it hit you like a cold hard wind on the first day of fall? All the pain you try to hide.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if that's like your jam, great for it. Seems very mellow. Sarah McLachlan-y. There you go. All right, Tia Carrera, congratulations on the music career. Sean Connery just joined the stream.
I am the last one. The Rock. Alcatraz. What are you doing to me? James, get out of here. H versus M. Hello. Arms up. Sway to the left, not the right.
All right. Okay. Sorry for doing that. We do not need to be doing any more of that. Now, instead of watching Tia Carrera, you guys hijacked. That was your fault. And I will blame, was that Doug or was that Brian? DGen Brian. Yep. So I would say that you totally sidetracked that, but it's okay. Because we're gonna bring it back to the video that we need to be watching, and we're gonna react to Samara Cohen. She's with BlackRock, I believe the VP of ETFs. So let's check this out. Boom. Here we go.
If you total up those three acquisitions, so I saw a CNBC headline that says how the world's largest asset manager is using nearly 28 billion of acquisitions to reinvent itself. I don't know if that number is fully accurate, but let's call it 28 billion of acquisitions, and that's for the private assets. That's to help BlackRock push into the private assets and Preqin. Will you do the same in crypto with M&A?
I mean, I have no idea. I think that we are really early in our digital assets journey, and as I said, I think.
Did you just hear that? She just said that you're early. We're early still. BlackRock just said we're still early in our digital assets journey. We've been here for a couple of years, guys. They're just getting started. Congratulations. We're going to make it.
We are really bullish on the potential for tokenization to improve access to capital markets and make them work better. So we are like very much focused on the path to more tokenization in markets.
More tokenization.
We are very focused on the utility of bridges to investors. So whether that is an ETP that kind of brings more access to crypto to, onto TradFi rails, or whether it is like we talked about tokenized money fund, some of the biggest consumers and investors in tokenized money funds are crypto native institutions that want more sophisticated, treasury management capabilities. So.
So you're hearing that crypto natives are already using tokenized treasuries. TradFi basically sounds like TradFi's, and this is actually, when I think about it, you hear her say that, and it reminds me something that at the ONDO summit, and I had said, basically was talking about this, we were the flip-flops, right? We were the flip-flops, they were the suits. If you are crypto native, you are considered a flip-flop to TradFi. And these conversations that they were having is alluding to the fact that the flip-flops have helped the suits. We've been here, we understand it, we can help them. And that is a general understanding. And basically, she reiterated that right there, which is great to hear again.
We will continue to invest in our capabilities to build those bridges. I think this question around crypto as or crypto is it's such a broadly defined term. Like if I say digitalized capital markets, like people need to be invested in capital markets. But I'm curious your thoughts on that. Like, what is the turning point where more people's investments go on chain than off chain?
Yeah, I mean.
This to me is probably, when the majority of investments go on chain versus off chain. I know that for years we have joked about the flippening of, is Ethereum going to flip Bitcoin? And now is XRP going to flip Ethereum, or is Solana going to flip? this is honestly the tokenization of treasuries, bonds, yields, corporate debts, um, the whole RWA ecosystem, and the whole broad thing obviously is going to major change, a major game changer for ecosystems and economies. But when you think about the flippening that matters, it's not ETH over Bitcoin. It's bringing the world on chain. That's when we truly win. That on chain, you bring off chain capital on chain. That's it. That's it. That's the big win.
I think at Blockworks, we basically just see this as we're creating a new financial market here. And you've got all these assets in traditional kind of old databases, and we're just moving assets into a new, maybe more efficient database.
Yeah. And I love that analogy. I think attention must be paid to the transition because look, I could stipulate if you and I were sitting together and coming up with a vision for global capital markets from a whiteboard, it would be, much more tokenized than, markets are today. But we have huge functioning legacy markets, and how you get from point A to point B is something we need to spend time on.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of my time thinking about that and how these markets can be as interoperable as possible for a long period of time as well.
I'm kind of really enjoying watching some of these videos and being able to react to it and, have an opinion and just like listen and learn more and stuff. I hope this works out well for you guys. I thought that was cool. It was really interesting for me to, and you heard me say earlier in the show here, is that I got to see her speak at the ONDO Summit in New York earlier this year. And the energy in that room was very interesting, right? Because it was TradFi meets DeFi, and there were very few crypto native people there, right? Like very few. And like I just said a second ago, they were very easy, to refer to people like us as the suits, or excuse me, as the flip-flops. We were the flip-flops. We are the flip-flops. Look, this is what I wear. I don't wear a suit every day. And if I were, a stock analyst or in the TradFi, you got to wear a shirt and tie. You got to wear a sport coat. You got to wear that suit, or for whatever reason, I don't think people take you seriously. And like, excuse me, it's always nice to look your best. And I understand that. But, here in crypto, that was never the thing. When we talk about the whole idea of Bitcoin being a movement, crypto being a movement, whatever, and we saw that shift happen throughout the Bitcoin conference, right? Where, it was more the movement. It was a lot of, hoodies and t-shirts with, in the early days, there was a lot of, it was always the joke, you just wear your black sport coat with, your favorite project t-shirt or whatever, t-shirts and a sport coat. Like that was the crypto uniform. And then after a while, it just became like hoodies and t-shirts and whatever. And then, it became a little bit more laxed for the crypto native people. But then again, now as we start to shift it from, crypto being a movement into an industry, it's very clear you started to see more suits at the Bitcoin conference. And then some of the other ones, like going up to Consensus. Consensus is a suit style conference. It's very, industry. And again, these movements, they've changed and they've morphed. And so we're really starting to see this absolutely morph into what we've always dreamed about, in this mass adoption thing and this tokenization world, the shit that they're building there and how that's coming. And, you hear Samara talking about off-chain capital coming on-chain, and that's the win, right? That's the end game that we've all should have been thinking about in the beginning was that to me is the mass adoption. It's not a critical mass. It's not the amount of wallets or the amount of people or, we've got, 300 million wallets here in the US. So that means we've got everybody. No. Nope. Dave, well, let's see what the chat is saying. She's kind of hot for a robot. H versus M. That's funny. She's a robot. That is funny. Let's see. That means we're late, Mike Lowry. If BlackRock says we're early, that means we're late. Nah, I think we're still on the earlier side than late. Now, obviously, a lot of the big money has been made, right? Like, and you heard me say that about like Bitcoin, right? You can't get rich unless you're already rich. You cannot make a fuckload of money off Bitcoin. It's not going to happen. It's not going to do that. What are you going to I mean, to some people, 2 or 3x in your money is like like a dream come true, but not in crypto. Like, we want 30x, 100x, 1000x. I mean, most coins are not going to do that. Some people will get lucky and catch it, but most people don't. That's kind of the hopium that we all smoke in this space, is my shit coin going to do the 1000x? Am I going to become a millionaire overnight, with no work? Never works that way. So don't try. All right. You funny, man. Oh, you funny, man. Okay, so that is it for that. Before we get into some charts, let's see. We got a bunch of people watching. I think I do like this time. I think this is a great time. I hope the 1:30 Eastern to and we're going to end it sometime between 2:30 and 3. So we'll go for an hour and a half, depending on like what the news is like, what the markets are like, all that kind of stuff. But I do appreciate you guys being here. We are going to switch over to some charts, but before we do that, it is time for you to, if you haven't already, smash the like button. Smash it like you've never smashed it before. I don't know why I said it like that. Believe me, we are still very early for what is to come. Absolutely. No, like extremely early for what we're going to see over the next, say, 10 years, right? We're still, when you look at the adoption curve, we are still extremely early. So pack your bags, keep learning, keep packing, keep stacking. And then pretty soon, baby, we are going to be on our yachts. Okay. Let's go to the Bitcoin futures chart first. So we got to bring this one up. And before I do this, I'm going to turn the leapfrog off while we look at our main stuff. And then we'll turn it back on when we get to the coins. And if there's any coins that you guys want to be looking at, make sure you drop them in the chat. If I see it, we'll get to it. All right. Let's go here. Share this tab. Bada boom, bada bing. Here we go. I'm going to stretch this out. This is the course over a couple days. But as you can see, this is the CME gap. And we are on our way back up. And this is the 30-minute chart. Let's go to the daily. I think the daily is going to be what we want because we have two. Oh, this looks like a camel. This is the CME camel right here. One hump, two humps. There's his neck right here. So this is the CME camel. Here, I'll draw it for you guys so you can see. It's a two-humped camel. I've never said I was an artist, by the way. And I'm channeling my inner Corey because our chart beasts is what, that's what that is chart beast, is the CME gap camel. And it is filled with water. But so as you can see here, we do have two gaps. We got one to the downside here between like 92.7 and 91.9 or 92,000, right around there. So we've got that. And then also this one that we formed over this past weekend between 96.4 and 97.2. So would love to actually, in my opinion, because are we building, what is this? What the heck is happening here? So I would love to see us clear the gap to the upside and continue on. Let's have a little positivity, some positive movement. We're cruising through the second quarter here, guys. I don't know if you knew that, but we have got a little bit more time until we get to the third quarter, the second half of the year, and at that point we should be moving. So I would say that watch your charts. Maybe this momentum change that we've got is, from a few weeks ago, is we found our actual true bottom. I know a lot of you guys are hoping and wishing and praying for another chance, but I just think that that's greedy. Okay, so here is Bitcoin. It's kind of doing this little thing. Ugh, come on. And you think that sometimes you think it stayed, but then it don't. That is definitely like a velociraptor or something. I know, we need Corey back. He's the true drawer of the beasts. Drew my beast. Okay, so oh, actually, let's put. Actually, we don't want Bitcoin quite yet. Let's see. I want to do the total market cap. Let's do the weekly so we can kind of zoom out on this because I think it paints a little bit better of an idea than the daily. Because look, this is a multi-year uptrend, right? This line right here that we're looking at right here. Oh, I got to move this up a little bit so you guys can see it a bit better. Let's stretch it out. You cannot see the years, but this right here is 2017, 2018. So this was like this year. Let's see, where's this? This was like my intro to crypto was like in here. And then boom. And I thought that was exciting. And then spent a few years doing this, and then boom. And then we did that. And now, look, we're coming back, man. We are coming back stronger than ever. Don't you worry. Markets are cyclical. Even if we are, you know what sucks to even think? That we could, in theory, come down to a $1.45 trillion market cap, and we still would be in the uptrend structure dating back to 2017. That's scary. Hopefully we don't have to do that. See, we never had to do that back here. We didn't have to come back and touch. So hopefully we can continue to go up. And then if we've got to come back and touch the uptrend at some point in the future, it'll be much higher. Morning, fam. Is this a new start time? Us West Coasters approved. Frosty, I appreciate you. Yes. So the 9 a.m. here, when I started, the show on the 9 a.m. on the East Coast, it just, the whole flow had to be different because no one's ready to learn at like 6 a.m. on the West Coast. And there's a lot of people that tune in on the West Coast and obviously different parts in the world. And so, you appease everybody, but it was a very early time frame to really try to drive home a lot of information and educational stuff. Plus, honestly, at 1:30 in the afternoon, I got a ton more time to get the stories and to kind of get the narrative of the day and to kind of see how it's shaking out. Because a lot of times you're talking about, I was getting up at 7 in the morning to talk about shit at 9 in the morning that was like totally irrelevant by 11. So this is a little bit better for me personally, for my family and all that shit. So I hope that, yes, I hope this 1:30 to like 3-ish works for everybody because golly, man, it works for me. So I appreciate you, Frosty, for being here and for saying something. That does mean a lot. Others chart. Look, I mean, here, let's zoom. Let's go to the daily on the others chart because we want to get like a true how are things looking here. And you can see like we're going up. Like we potentially could come down. This others chart could see another drop of 12%, and we still remain structure. I would say, one thing that we got, and if was Cowan talking about Bitcoin dominance, because you guys know we have been talking about this. Blocky and I talked about this like 2-3 weeks ago. Is like when we first started looking at this, and I started talking about this a lot more often after that, because this makes a whole lot of sense. As you look, 3 times in history, Bitcoin dominance has pierced that 70% level. And then what happens after? Look. Dominance goes way down. Oh yeah, but we have to look back at this chart. Every time that dominance goes way down, you got pop, pop, pop. So the dominance going down is the key indicator with the others chart going up that we are in altcoin season. So things are moving forward. I mean, this shit doesn't happen overnight all at once. Sometimes things move faster than others. As you can see, we got some pretty steep blue, where they're green for some people because, you can change your own colors on this. But I use blue and pink because that's what I like. And they're like my brand colors. But so those candles can be very violent up. They can also be very violent down, as we saw, over here. So That is the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10. So no Bitcoin. You guys know that I love this one. No Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, stables, the main stables, none of that stuff. So, all right, what is going on in some of the other charts? So dominance still pushing fucking up, dude. And so when you say, you know, that we're gonna see alts bleed out a little bit more, I don't disagree with that at all, actually, because I feel like we have to see 70%, which is even crazier to think because of the amount of coins that are in the ecosystem now compared to the last time this happened back in like 2019 or whatever. So I will tell you that it probably is going to be a little bit rougher until we break this 70%, and hopefully it happens quickly. You know, I kind of drew this this slow bleed out. You know, we don't really want that, to be honest with you, because that like takes us to December. We probably want it to be like that, and let's blast up. Let's just blast off, get this thing fucking done with, hit 70, and then shoot down to like 40%. Let's see the altcoins rain money on us. Rain money on me. All right. So we want to look at the graph chart. Okay, I can pull that one up. Let's look. I've deleted it off my list because I got so mad at GRT USDT. Let's pull it up. Obviously, guys, I'm going to pull up the FEMEX chart. Ooh, since the last time we looked at it, it is broken out from this downtrend. Well, that's good. So we can go ahead and erase that downtrend now. We did find a bottom for the graph. Has gone up 30% since it hit the old bottom at 6 cents. Man, I'll tell you what. This could be the move. This could be the time to get in. Or I guess we are kind of maybe coming back down. Watch this. And especially if we do have a market-wide come down. You might get a chance to get this thing in the 7-cent range again. But I'll tell you what, if this thing ever does pop back up to like 40, 50 cents, it's going to go higher at some point in the future. But maybe this is just not the graph's run. Maybe the graph is programmed for later. You never know. Trading graph currently. Okay, let's look at it. Well, we got it on the weekly here. Oh, shit, man. I should put this thing on like, put it on the 30-minute. How does that go? All right. Let's turn on Leapfrog, see what we got here. All right, you about to come back up to the daily. And then you got the previous daily. If this thing comes back to the previous daily from where it's at, that's a percent. You know, you put 10x on it, 20x on it, whatever, you can make some money. But not the sexiest trade in the world today as far as catching back up to those VWAPs. Let's see, PAX G. Soon we can trade in our dinghies for yachts. Absolutely, Doug. I cannot wait to trade in my dinghy for a yacht. I don't even have a dinghy. I have a river tube that you can float, that you can, go float the river with. I don't even have a dinghy. I've got a circular tube with a mesh bottom so that the fish don't bite your butt. PAX G. PAXG. All right. Obviously, we're checking on FEMEX here as well. This one to me would look like it's probably going to see a little bit of a come down at some point. I mean, we're riding high on a lot of these VWAPs, so what does PAXG do? I know that I've PAX Gold, so it's safest way to own investment grade gold. Okay, that's what I thought. Gold. You might not want to destroy the world, Mr. Powers, but I do, and I love gold. I mixed that up. There was two different quotes. The one where he loves gold and the destroy the world, Mr. Powers. But sheesh, 97% chance no cut rate. Maybe QT cancels on bonds. I had heard that they're doing like they're injecting liquidity into the market, that they're doing it a different way versus lowering rates. And so we have to check that out. I'll look into that more. I'll find that news or that whatever the information I was looking at earlier today. All right, so PAXG riding with the gold. There you go. So Does this thing, is it backed 1-to-1? Is that what it is? That would make sense. Okay, well, there you go, my PAX G. There you go, my PAX G. Oh, we got Princess in the house. Hey, what's up, Princess? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you having me on your show. I need to get back to you about getting on, the other thing that you were talking about, and then I want to get you scheduled to come chat with me. But it'll probably be in a couple weeks because I got a lot of shit to do. As I lead up to next week going to Toronto for the Futurist Conference and then Consensus. So I'll be emceeing the Futurist Conference. So if you guys are there, make sure you pop in, say hi. And if you are going to Consensus, I will see you there. I'll be running media. So I'll be doing interviews. I will be creating content, doing man on the street style stuff. So get ready. Put your camera face on, because if I see you, that mic's going to go right there. I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to record it and I'm going to post it. So get ready. Start practicing. Okay. That being said, one other thing. How does this look on here? I want you guys to help me out with something. Okay. So obviously, as working on, the whole getting ready and 1% better and all that stuff, I'm trying to update my websites, trying to update information and meetings availability. I know I got to do some more stuff on here, but I would appreciate it if you guys do me a solid, freaking solid, and go to JChains.me, right? And you can see this is like my link in bio site right here. So I got some information right here. You can find out, got the logos for the shows and the media company, what I do. I got to change a couple things, but I would love for you to go through this and tell me what you think I'm missing, what you don't like, what I should take off, what I should add, all that kind of stuff. And I would just love to get that support and that feedback from the community. So if y'all could do that, whoa. There you go. If y'all could do that for me, that would be amazing. I would appreciate it. Again, it's jchains.me. I'll put it in the chat. Check that out. Let me know. Shoot me a DM. You can shoot me an email. There's a way from the site for you to get me. The whole point of that is to contact me. Don't fill out like the stuff for the newsletter unless you want to. Shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, whatever. And I would love, like I said, to get your feedback. So, all right. I believe that's going to do it for today. Thank you. I have almost 300 people that either tuned in or are watching still currently. I could not thank you enough. Thank you for being here. I will see some of you guys in the flesh next week in Toronto, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be back tomorrow. So we already did our 1% better today, so I hope you caught it. If you didn't, make sure you go back and check that out. But do what you can. Always be improving yourself, and that's all that I can do right now, specifically while I try to grow and develop and build my brand. I'm trying to do even more than 1% every day, but consistently, 1% is all you need to do to make vast improvements, man. It's all about that consistency. So, all right, I love you guys. That is it. If there's anything you guys need from me, please reach out. You can shoot me an email. You can shoot me a DM. Most of you, or some of you, even have my cell phone, so you can always text or call. And that's why you got that. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.